Joining the team captains is the Prime Minister of Canada, le Premier Ministre du Canada, Mark Carney, and the CEO of Coinbase Canada, Lucas Matheson.
Cut to Coinbase. Do not, I repeat, do not show Carney's stupid face. Perfect. Drum up some background audio. Get the booing out. Cut to... Good job.
Gentlemen, this is the coin we'll be using for the coin toss. The Coinbase logo will be heads, and the maple leafs will be tails. Saskatchewan, you're the visiting team. Your choice. Tails? Mr. Prime Minister, would you do us the honor? Tails has been called.
Cut camera again. Too much booing. Cut camera. That was fun to watch yesterday. I had no idea that our high school football teams were playing in our Canadian Super Bowl of sorts, but that was a little treat. That stadium is like I can see it from my house. I had to drive by it. It's very close to where I live, which makes driving around when there's a function there a nightmare, even more of a nightmare. In Winnipeg, anyone who lives in Winnipeg understands what a nightmare driving in this construction zone is like. Now, it looks like the market caught wind of Michael Saylor's buy, because just like clockwork, Michael Saylor posts a buy, price dumps. Unbelievable. When I woke up, it was around 95.6. Was I optimistic? Not really. No, because unfortunately we did get this weekly close under the 50 moving average. Now, we've been talking about that for a long time, and we finally got it, which is a bad omen. It is a bad omen when we are drowning in a 4-year cycle, which, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. There's part of me that thinks 4-year cycle denial is a little bit of cope, right? It's like we need more time. We need more time. And then part of me thinks that the cycle is overdue to retail exit. Now, the retail never came in. So a lot of people say there hasn't been a bull run, and there really just hasn't been a retail bull run. There's been copious amounts of money into, ETFs, which is retail, really. You could say that retail went in the simple way, the back door or the front door to be precise now. But the exuberant retail on the exchanges didn't come in. Now, this is where I had a little bit of an epiphany, one might say. Because I started thinking about what was shaping the market, what was happening in this market. And it's no different than what happens in any other market. So, for instance, let's say when Walmart comes to, I know XRPA11Y is listening. Let's say they come to Sudbury, old nickel town in Ontario. This is, when they were just moving into markets. Well, what they did when they went into markets is they decimated the small businesses that existed. So, for instance, like Jimmy's Hardware and skate sharpening, gone, right? Because everyone just goes to Walmart. And part of their market takeover was to eliminate smaller competing businesses. And that was just probably done through price action, right? Like Jimmy's Hardware and skate sharpening is more expensive. Do you want to support Jimmy? Yeah, you've been supporting him for 20 years. However, I just, so much cheaper over at Walmart. It's a hammer's a hammer, right? And so eventually Jimmy's Hardware and skate sharpening went out of business. So now when I apply that to the market now, I've said this for a long time. The money coming in is playing, is aiming to win it all, right? They want all of it. And so in order to capture the market, I think what we're seeing here is somewhat of a planned demolition of exchanges, right? So I think back to CZ getting, in the midst of the fog of the crypto winter, a lot of things happening, right? Banks failing, Michael Saylor buying, price dipping, FTX, Celsius, and then CZ going to jail. It just all kind of seemed like it. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, FTX goes down, CZ goes to jail. Yeah, I guess. And then he's out, but his wife's in. And they install their own CEO. So now they can kind of push the lever on this massive, because Binance really is the biggest competition to ETFs, right? So if there are some holdouts, which I don't know if there is anymore, like the people we talk to, we can convert them to, cold storage hodlers. We can, right? But the vast majority, if we want to call a spade, are just going to take the easy route out. If they want exposure to Bitcoin, they will take the easy way out and go on the ETF. Hey, I'm done. I got 2%, case closed. So with Binance around, it's not like we'll just let these exchanges, these decentralized exchanges, allow people on and off ramps, right? I think that its operation closed the on and off ramps by people begging for it. So when we see these liquidations, when we see these wash trading from Binance to Wintermute and this manipulation of the market, it really does frame the newbie's mind that I don't like this. And who would really want to be in an exchange where the price has all these scam wicks and, they're wash trading this and that, and everything that's illegal in the TradFi is now kind of Wild Westy part of the game, right? So they will let them hang themselves, and I'm sure they're doing this in concert with their newly appointed CEO, maybe CZ's wife. They got the golden handshake. Listen, CZ, you're gonna do this for us, or here's the silver, and here's the lead. And CZ was like, well, probably I don't want to do that. Okay, well, here's the lead. You go to jail, and they institute it and they start doing it. So I think the future, this is why I'm even more bullish on cold storage, is that the opportunity for these on and off ramps will slowly diminish. You'll have the decentralized, but it'll just be tabooed into like, well, if you want to be, if you want to lose all your money, yeah, you go use Kraken or whatever. The ones that are left, like let's say Binance, I think Binance may be used as a custodian at the end of the day. And now you might wonder, well, Binance is a fully functioning exchange. Okay, well, it's not in Canada. They closed that. It wasn't Binance's fault. It was Canadian governments are retards, right? So they just made it impossible for them to function. But in concert with, right? We always think that these politicians kind of have their own autonomy. They're all in concert. They're all just mafia bosses working for each other. Okay, we're going to close the on-ramp for Canadians there, see what happens. Oh, nothing? Perfect. And then Canada goes without Binance. Now, I could be mistaking. Maybe you can still get Bitcoin. I don't know. I just got an email like a couple of years ago saying you got to get your stuff off. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, right? And that's what everyone will do. Let's say you onboard some noobs into Binance or Kraken or wherever these, the small indies, you might say. And then they get an email, yeah, we're closing down this. GEMINI too. Like GEMINI was in Canada. You can't do that in GEMINI, which is even more bizarre, right? You think how crazy New York is. Canada's even worse. So what will happen is it will drive all future retail into Walmart, which is the institutions, right? They're not here to have competition. The only competition they have is themselves, and they're all incestuous, right? Incestuous. They all own each other's lineage, right? So they're one big family. It's just Coke, Pepsi, Burger King, McDonald's, right? They're all in the same business. And they're aligned with the fact that the decentralized exchanges gots to go. So I think we're going to see more of this moving forward. And the flushing of leverage, in my opinion, is good. It's a hard lesson for people that they'll never really learn until they lose. And then they quietly, like Homer Simpson, back into the forest. Like, hey, I thought you bought Bitcoin. And you never hear from them again because they leveraged it and they're gone. So the disease is the cure. It's like one of the things I always say. So the concept of all this leverage is the disease, and the cure is people learn. Unfortunately, the lesson is very expensive to most people and they never come back. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing too when it comes to retail. The first wave was the meme coins. Like people forget there was a little bit of a meme coin bull run, like early 23. Remember the Pepe and the Bonk kind of skyrocketed. It was like, what's going on here? Like something's making noise back in the old crypto market warehouse. It's some weird department, that meme coin. And then wrecked most people because all those meme coins are just insiders pumping, marketing. And then they get the retail to, oh my God, it's 0.00000000000000001 I can get, holy shit, do the math. If it gets to $1, oh my God, I've got $1 quadrillion. I'm in. So the simple math kind of befuddles most people, and they get in and they lose their money. So that was the first wave of wrecked retail that came in. And then what we saw after that was the belief of a altcoin. What do they call it? Altcoin. What is it? Altcoin season? Yeah, altcoin season. Well, maybe I'll get in on a low cap gem and put all my money in there, and it's gone to shit. Like most of them just go to shit. There's only a few that work for the meantime. Like you even take something like Solana. Arguably, if you go down that highway, maybe the most potential use case, still struggling, right? And then so why I bring up Solana is that this push for ETFs, like we went from Bitcoin basically almost not getting an ETF to everyone getting an ETF. And that is to close the on and off ramps of these small exchanges. So why would anyone go and do the due diligence to get onto Phantom, which is super simple, really. But when they can just buy the ETF as a la carte from their advisor, their financial advisor is like, well, like there's probably going to be a potpourri ETF, which will just encapsulate all ETFs, right? You want exposure? Well, we got them all here. This is the crypto potpourri. Get exposure to everything. There's a basket of everything you could possibly imagine. Don't go to the exchanges and, buy one of these altcoins. We got the altcoins. And I think that is just to not have the industry exist so to close, in order to keep the industry going with the, all these millions of altcoins, they have to somehow give an option to get it, because that will, if they don't give that option, these exchanges will still exist and people will buy their exposure to Fartcoin and Poopcoin and any other altcoin on these exchanges. So they're just going to make ETFs and make it completely simple. And the next thing you know, just due to low volatility, like John's hardware and skate sharpening, the doors just stop swinging open till it's no longer a feasible business to be in. And they take the silver and they, get bought out and put away. So I liken it to this argument I was having yesterday about athletes. And listen, I don't know anything about these athletes. All I know is that they're probably, completely overpaid. But the argument was about one of the Japanese pitchers. There's two apparently on LA Dodgers. One won MVP and one got a $70 million contract. But so the argument was he's not worth $70 million. right? This is going to tie into what's happening to the exchanges here. So my argument was, in negotiation, sometimes you buy a player so your opponent doesn't get it, right? It's not that they valued him at 70 million. They just they had to purchase his contract. So, Team B didn't buy him because they would rather have him and sit him than play against him and lose, right? So $70 million was like a keep quiet price. So that's what I think is going to happen with these exchanges. Will get bought out one by one with silver or lead, not to function. Like they'll get bought out and then they'll sunset them, right? And it's just they'll buy it out. They'll pay golden parachute handcuff prices just to not have them exist and push everyone into these ETFs. So this has been kind of a long rant for a Monday morning. Where are we with the price here? 94.6. So if we go on the 4-hour chart, if we just want to do some, simple TA here, if we want to make some TA here, I would probably call this a quintessential bear flag. Look, I don't even have to do anything. This is the bottom. Our channel of descension is the flag, and this is it. So, if you want to find the according to legacy technical astrology, if you want to find the probabilities of this bear flag, you take the pole, you slide it all to the breakout point. That's past our 88K. It still hasn't hit. I got a video lined up. I spent all last night looking over videos when I mentioned 88K. Now, in my weird contrarian reverse psychology, it's like, I'm going to make a video about 88K, guaranteeing it never happens, right? I'll just waste my time putting in all these videos where I talked about 88K. But there it is. There's 88K still. You take the ball, you slide it all to the breakout point, and then we're all at, this is 84.4, so we'll put it in. Listen, here's the truth. If we're sunsetting this bull run, 84.4 will hit. It's... If the top is in at 126, well, it's just downward from here. Some arguments I have in my own head about why the bull run may not be over is it's not really a bull run, right? So if we have mitigated highs, we may get mitigated lows and just exist in a slowly step-by-step moving up price action with some drawdowns now. So what I think, if we want to get dark here, is that the drawdowns will be in concert with the sunsetting of these exchanges due to lack of retail interest. So it'll be in their best interest to close the exchanges because there's no retail anyway. Like the volatility, the volume will just sink to nothing, where they're, basically it costs them to stay open. And then at that point, it becomes what we all think it will be, is the next monetary policy will be Bitcoin, but it'll be dominated through the institutions. Because if you really think about it, they're not getting in here to share the industry with anyone. They want it all. And you could see once it clicked, with old Uncle Finky, Bitcoin's a scam, Bitcoin's a scam, Bitcoin's a scam. And then all of a sudden something clicks at him. He gets, his son or his daughter's boyfriend kind of orange pills him on Bitcoin. He's like, holy F. Flip on a dime. Not only do we have to go heavy into this, we need to dominate the industry. This is the next industry. Let's get it all. And then it's Operation Get It All. And that's what we're seeing here to a certain degree. I mean, they're reliant on their clients to buy. And, consequently, they're when the clients sell, the market goes down. But I think ideally, once it flushes out all these spectators and tourists, I do think we will see a resurgence in price action just because they'll buy up all the rest, right? They'll be like, okay, no one wants to buy it anymore. All these stupid retail's gone. Release the hounds. Now, if we wanted to do some, a little bit more of this legacy TA stuff, I would say to a certain degree, there is some bullish divergence. You know, it's slight. But listen, the price is dumping. We need some hopium, or at least the worst case copium. This is what they call, you know, this is a lower low, right? And this is a higher low when it comes to the MACD. It's slight, and you can see it, right? It's same with the RSI. It's the same pattern. Same. This is bullish diversion of the bullish kind. This is classic, right? Which is funny because it's like touching a massive Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin red candle. But this is, you know, this is how bullish divergence plays out. Now it's a 4-hour chart, so, you know, take it for what it is. It's a noisy little so-and-so. On the, let's see if there's any other bullish divs here. On the weekly, there's a little bit on the weekly here too. It's not classic bullish divergence, but let's go here. Here's a low, here's a higher low, and here's a lower low. So it's more like hidden divergence, they call it. The legacy technical astrologists will say it's you know, hidden, but I mean, it's not bearish. It's not hidden bearish divergence. It's hidden bullish divergence, which is nice. And it would make sense, you know, when you think about how much we've the green is under the red. That's very oversold, right? And with fear and greed at all-time lows. You know, what is it? Is it 15 or something? So, what is this attach? Everyone's like, what are you doing with that bullish divergence there? Leave it there. We don't want to change it. Yeah, so we have, like, come on. Oh, I see what's going on there. I can't. It's not. I don't have enough runway, said the boomer. I don't have enough runway. Anyway, yeah. Higher lows, lower lows. Hidden bearish divergence or bullish. Sorry, I don't know anyone to ruin their day here. Hidden bullish divergence on the weekly, which is, you know, it's better than bearish divergence. And we have it on the 4-hour chart. Now on the daily, we are just kind of hugging this channel of descensions support, eyeballing this 88K. And maybe I will do this for my future self, because all we've been talking about is 88K, K. Make sure you like and subscribe and share